Hi, welcome to today's session. I'm a soft skill trainer from the Department of Career Planning and Development, Chandigarh University. And today we are going to take up a very important topic which is based on verbs, and that is modal verbs. Whenever we are using our English language, we are making sentences. Every now and then, in most of the sentences, we are using modal verbs, or we can say modals. So, what are modal verbs? We are going to explain, just understand the concept and try to see where to use which kind of modal verb, right? So, let's start with the presentation of today. So what are modal verbs basically? Modal verbs are used with the main verb to show mood and ideas such as the ability to do something, the possibility of doing something, and permission, whether it could be done, right? So these are different kinds of uh, modal verbs that we can use, and in nutshell we can say can, could, will, would, must, ought to, shall, should, may, and might are the mostly used modal verbs in English language. So let's start with the first modal verb, that is can. So when is can used? It is used to express ability, right? For example, Ryan can speak French, but he cannot speak German. That means he doesn't have the ability to speak German language. My baby will be able to walk in a few months. So now this again, both of the sentences, we are showing the ability or the disability to do something. So we can use the modal verb can here. Again, to express a request, if we are requesting someone, we can use can, right? For example, can you help you? Can I offer you something to drink? So these are few examples where I am just requesting or offering my request to somebody. So can be used there as well. To express permission. So if I have to ask for the permission, I can use the modal verb can. Example, can I use your cell phone? You can't go out with Victor. So I'm not permitting someone to go out, right? So can't is a negative form of can. So therefore both can be used to express permission. Next is to express the possibility. If the weather is perfect tomorrow, we can go on a picnic. So there's a possibility that if the weather is fine, we might we can think of going out for a picnic tomorrow, right? Similarly, I can be ready by 5. So I'm saying that yes, I will be able to be ready till 5. So I'm expressing the possibility of it. So can is used to express a statement that is less certain than will shows certainty that definitely I'm going to do that. But can shows my ability but not certainty. It's like less certain than will. Next is could. So definitely we know that can we have, and then could is a past form of can. So again, if we are talking about something in the past and talking about the ability to do something, then we can use could to express abilities in the past. Jason could do 50 push-ups in 5 minutes when he was young. So we are telling about the ability of somebody when he was young, what he could do. Now we are not talking about whether presently he has that ability or not. So whenever we are expressing ability with respect to past, we will use could in spite in the place of can, right? To express permission, can you lend me 2 grams? So again, I'm just expressing the permission. Can as well as could can be used. So if it is about past tense, we'll use could. To express future possibility, not always for past, we can also use could for the future. But when we are talking about future possibility of doing something, it expresses more certainty than may. So if I am going to use future possible could for future possibility, then it is going to be more certain than the modal verb may, which we will discuss in the next slide. I could get an A or B in grammar. It depends on the final exams. So I am talking about a future possibility of what grade I can get in grammar. Next is to express something in the past. It may be real. You could have been killed in that accident, right? So it was a possibility that it could have happened, right? We are talking about a possibility of future or something that has already happened. It could have been real as well. I could have won that game. So I usually we say I could have done that, provided I just had put a few more efforts. So yes, I'm talking about some past thing which could have been real, just because of something lacking. I was not able to do that. So could is referred to here as well. Next is shall. It expresses the simple future for the first person. We usually use shall with the first person, right? That means with I. Shall we meet at the bus stop? So I'm asking this question, taking into consideration a future event, right? I shall never forget your help. So first person, we use shall with the first person when we are talking about future tense, right? Next is will. Will be used for second and third person. Seen will leave tomorrow. She will be back in a few days. If it rains, soccer game will be put off. So what we are doing is we are just predicting future with the use of will for second and third person. Next is express willingness. Definitely, if we have to express our willingness to do something, we will use the modal verb will, right? If you won't go and help him, I will, right? I will wash the dishes if you cook. So I am using will for the willingness of doing something. So will could be used wherever we are willing to do something, right? Next is would. So definitely the past tense of will is would. So we'll be using it as a past tense of will. She said she would buy dinner on her way home. So she had said this, it is past, right? I believed it would rain, so I brought my raincoat. So just taking the precaution, I believed it would happen, so that's why I have bought my raincoat. So would again is being used as a past tense for will in the sentence. Next is to express polite request. One is just we are requesting someone to do something like can, right? But if we are doing it politely, then we'll use would. Would you please take off your coat? Would you mind turning on the radio? So again, what I'm doing is I'm just requesting someone in a very polite way. So whenever you have to request somebody politely, use would instead of can or could. Next, to express desire. So whenever we are expressing a desire, we could use the modal verb that is would. I would like to have one day off. So would is used in that case as well. I would love to stay for a few more days. So that's a contraction. I would love to stay for a few more days. So again, I'm wishing something. I'm expressing a desire. So whenever we have to express a desire, we can use this modal verb would for that. Next is should. Definitely, as we discussed about shall, the same will go with should as well, just in the past tense. You are driving too fast, you should slow down a little bit. So what we are saying is when we are giving advice. When we are giving advice to somebody, we can use should, or we are just giving our opinion, right? You have gained a lot of weight. You should go on a diet. So we are just giving an advice. It is not mandatory on somebody to do that. It is just a piece of advice that we are giving the other person. To express expectations, when we are having some expectations from somebody, we can use should as well. Are you ready? The taxi should be here soon. So we are expecting that the taxi is going to be here in a very short while, right? $20 is enough. It shouldn't cost more than that. So again, I'm expecting that the total expenditure won't be more than $20. So whenever I'm expressing an expectation, I can use should. To suggest a less strong possibility. When the possibility is not that strong, we are not having that much of certainty. At that time also, we can use should. If you should pass the bakery, can you buy some bread? So it's a very rare possibility that I might pass through the bakery. So when the possibility is low, I can use should as a modal verb in the sentence. Next is must and have to. Now, as the word themselves suggests, it's something mandatory, it has to be done, right? Expresses something that is necessary and essential. You must pay by cash. So you go on to so many counters, so many shopping sites, and then it's already written, it might be written there that you have to pay only by cash. So have to or must can be replaced, right, with each other, because both of them express the necessity of doing something, that it is mandatory. You have to drive on the right in France. So if you are driving, you have to follow that particular rule, right? Students have to wear uniform. So it is must for them to wear uniform if they are going to school, right? Not have to is used to express something that is not to be done necessarily. So definitely if you are using not with have to, it is going to be in the negative sense. That means it's not compulsory. We don't have to get up early on Saturdays. Maybe because it's our off, that's why we don't need to get up early in the morning. So yes, have to. This means it is not a compulsion for us to get up early on Saturdays. She doesn't have to live in the hotel. She can live with us. So again, we are talking about expressing something which is not a necessity, which is not a compulsion. Next is may. So it is very, this is a very wisely used modal verb that we have to take care when we are using in a sentence, because it shows that politeness, it shows that the mannerisms of a person. So we have to use it religiously. Expresses possibility in the present or in the future. So when you are talking about possibility, it may rain, right? In the present tense, it may rain. Elizabeth may know his telephone number. So this is just about a possibility when we are expressing it for the present or for future. Next is for permission. When it is, we really want to address somebody and give respect to that person, to get the permission, we use may instead of can. May I come in? You may come if you want, right? So again, it shows politeness for the permission that we are asking for. To express a wish or hope, as we say, may you live long, may God bless you, right? So this is just a wish that we wish for somebody, and we can use the modal verb may for this as well. Then it is might, to express possibility in the present or in the future, like Ashley might be in the library, I'm not sure. So might is definitely showing that we are not having surety, or we are not convinced, or we are not having certain information about something. It might happen, right? There is a possibility of that. George might come as well. So no clarity on whether he is going to come or not. He might come. Next is might with present perfect tense, means speculation about about the past. So Edward is late. He might have missed his bus, or he might have overslept. So this speculation we are doing just on the basis of some past event, or about because of some experience that we have with that person, right? So when we are expressing a speculation based on some past events, we can use might as there as well, right? Next question here. Let's try to solve it. It's very cold today. Do you think it dash snow later? Please write the answers, and we will just discuss the answers one by one. You dash leave your door unlocked when you go out. So what should come here? It's very cold. Okay, let's discuss it one by one. It's very cold today. Do you think it dash snow later? It might, right? So we are talking about the possibility of snowfall, right? Next, you dash leave your door unlocked when you go out. You can, right? So it, because I may be on my way, so I can just say this line that okay, you can leave the door unlocked when you go out, because I'm going to be there in a short while, right? This can be one of the uh, reasons why we can say this particular sentence. They dash have filled the car with petrol before they set off. So before we set off for something, what should we do? So it is something that we should do, right? They can't be here, they couldn't, they have to, they might, they must have filled the car with petrol before they set off, because it is mandatory, because if you're living somewhere, so it is the first point that we check, that whether we have our car properly fueled or not. Next is, my motorbike broke down in the middle of nowhere, but luckily I dash to fix it. I was able to, right? I was able to fix it. Next, mom says we dash watch TV after we have finished our homework. So if mom is saying something, it has to be either in, we have to do it, I guess. Mom says we dash watch TV. We dash watch TV after we have finished our homework. We ought to, right? Ought to means we should. You don't dash pick me at the station. I can get a taxi. You don't have to, right? So we are telling somebody that it's okay, we can manage ourselves. You don't have to come and to pick me up. This is impossible. It dash be a mistake. So it couldn't be a mistake, right? Jim Dash has seen me because he walked past without saying hello. Jim shouldn't have seen me. So we presume that he might not have seen me. That's why he just walked away without saying a hello. So we have discussed today a few modal verbs and the usage of modal verbs and what are the like when we have to use which modal verb, which is very important. Most of the times when we are doing sentence corrections, we need to understand in which context that particular modal verb is being used. If it is something which is, you are putting so much of stress and it is mandatory, so we have to use modal verbs accordingly. And if it is just a possibility, accordingly we have to choose the right kind of modal verb. So hope today's session has given you an insight about modal verbs and you are through with few confusions that you were having before. So enjoy your session, rest of the sessions. Bye bye. Take care.